Alright, everybody, welcome back. It's Olor the Great, and coming in with a surprise midweek stream. So, our server that we currently have set as private is going to be going live, should be this weekend. And we'll give an official update when that happens. But in preparation for it going live, because we are playing on SIPTA, I wanted to give everybody some tips, tricks, pointers, a little bit of walkthrough as far as going through things on SIPTA goes. So I've recreated my character on our private server. That way we can go through, do all the early stage stuff, do the beginning stuff, show you guys basically just kind of what's going on. And go from there. Just going through getting our stuff created for our character. Make her short. And we're actually going to start northeast. I normally start southeast because I build down that way. Yep, looks good. Alright. So normally start southeast, however, northeast is the closest spawn point to learning sorcery, which we're gonna do first for obvious reasons. We're there, we don't want to have to trek all the way back up there. Once I spawn in, I'll pop up the map and I'll show you guys an overview of what's going on. Come on. Okay. So when SIPTA first dropped, it was this. So this stuff here, none of that was there. It was just this island and this little piece with the lake off here. So for the purpose of this server, this island here is no man's land. Nobody can lay claim to it. It's just there. The map is split down the middle, right on the tower. We have one kingdom ruling this half, one kingdom ruling this half, and there's their capital. And then we rule all of this down here. So land-wise, we technically have the smallest kingdom. However, we maintain control of the pools. And this little altar of Zath right here. And if I zoom in, you can see on this beach here, we have built our capital. So, technically, we are not supposed to be up here. However, we have just spawned in. Everybody on the server knows I run a YouTube channel. Everybody on the server knows that I'm doing this. So, it's not the end of the world. We are getting a start. Drink some water. we will run up here. There's some stuff here we can loot, search the bodies of the crew. If I can find a crew member, it'll let me search. There we go. So you always want to start off like looking at these little journey steps. So like one says climb, so you'll climb. Not that you have to climb much. Obviously you want to make sure you harvest stuff. It says craft a tool, use a bedroll. Now, unlike our other server that we were just on, items in inventory are dropped on death on this server. So if we die, we gotta go back and get our stuff. Yes, get ourselves a water skin. Let's fill that up real quick. We need to eat. We need to, it doesn't show it yet, but we do need to clothe ourselves. So we will get to that as well. You can make a cooking fire to feed yourself and cook some of those oysters. Easier way to do it is just to come over here, harvest some plant fiber, because you need some of that anyways. We're not going to have armor yet, but okay. You can eat some bugs real quick. Alright, we're just going to craft some basic clothing there. We're going to make a pick. We're going to make an axe. We're going to make a bedroll. And for now, we are just going to... Building is not allowed here. That's right. We're right at spawn. Should throw a bedroll down right there for now. That way, if something happens, we can be relatively close to our body. We'll kick, we'll dodge. Slaying requires a weapon. So, real quick. We learned to make the stone maul, and we'll make a two-handed sword. Alright, we have a weapon. Let's make a torch real quick. That way we have a torch. Wants us to spend knowledge points. Okay. That's easy enough. We'll just come over here and we will learn to make houses. Alright, so our next step is to slay, perform a heavy finisher with a weapon, and store goods. Two of those three we ought to be able to take care of on the way here. We'll grab some yellow Lotus to take back with us too, because we'll need some of that later. So the way you put your points in when you're leveling is not necessarily the way your end build is going to be. Yellow Lotus is important because it lets you respec your build. It's pretty easy to find in most areas of the world. There are some places on the map that don't have much of it, but for the most part it's easy enough to find. It generally grows near like rivers and lakes and shit. Alright, got our sword. There is a crocodile. Skinning knife real quick. We are slightly boosted. I believe it's a 3x XP is what we got the server at. So not a huge boost. Um, just to make it so that people joining the server aren't getting super like overwhelmed by the fact that we got people here that are max level when we go live. Yep, we're gonna skip you for now, sir. That is fine. Oh, your stomach hurts. Yeah, that's not good. Alright, I gotta remember, is it this way? It's this way. Ooh, that was not a good idea. Coming up here with our torch. Alright. Riverwatch Keep. Okay. If you guys look at the map, this here is Riverwatch Keep. And that's as far as I can zoom in. Okay. It says here is Riverwatch Keep. When you get to Riverwatch Keep, you're down here. You can see the gate and stuff there. Right. Search that, get that scout report. Alright. So, right in here is a cave. As we go down, it is helpful to have a torch in here if you come in here at night. If you come here during the day, there's usually enough light. You don't need one. But we'll walk up here as we look around. You know, you can see this is a camp of some sort. There's a bunch of books. Neat little area to check out, you know, nothing super fancy. Come over to this, on the altar, just like on the other server, you learn basic sorcery. It does give you your Tome of Kirak, which you need to keep. Do not, under any circumstances, lose your Tome of Kirak. If you do, you can come all the way back up here, interact with it, and get a new tome. Does not give you a new arcane staff, does not give you any burlap pouches a second go around. But if you die and you can't make it to your body and you can't summon your body to you because you either don't have it unlocked or the game's bugged or whatever, you can come back up here and reacquire your Tome of Kirak. We're going to pop our arcane staff over here and we will give you our first, or your first glimpse of sorcery, if I can see anything. Okay, let's just come over here to do this. That will do. Alright, so no torch. Would probably help if we would spend some of our attribute points. Alright, so when you're first starting to level up, guys, realistically, you want to start out, put 5 points in Vitality, and get your Fierce Vitality passive health regeneration. That will allow you to heal over time if you make a blunder like I did. Next thing you want to put points into is put 5 points into Grit. You're not as worried about increasing your armor by 40 and stamina by 20, although increasing your stamina by 20 is nice. But but every point you put into grit does give you additional stamina.
You have maps to
Now, let's try climbing out of here again. A little more stamina, we should be able to make it up. There we go. I still can't really see anything. Okay. Let's just repair that torch. Well, the good news is this is where we wanted to come back up anyways. Alright. So, there's some chests around here. Let's see if I can remember where all of them are. So you can go around, loot these chests. They'll have like silver, gold, steel, hardened steel. You know, little cheesy stuff like that. We'll just loot them all and then take a look at what all we got. Should be. I just looted that one. There should be another one. There it is. Alright, now we're over encumbered, but that's okay. So we're going to look through and see what we got. We got a ceramic jar, which we can drop. Silver bar, steel arrows, some hide, some raw ash, gold bar, silver coin, iron, bone. So stuff that's prevalent where we're going, I'm just gonna drop because it's easy to pick up. We got some glowing goop. And we're about to starve. So what we're going to do is we are going to come right here. Yes, I see that I begin to feel weak with hunger, game. Thank you. Alright, so shape the raw forces of nature. And we're in an ice bridge. Directly across. So it seems for the most part from the testing that Chaz and I have done that sorcery's fixed. You still run into some nastiness every now and again. You know, nothing that can't be handled, but the upside is it's not crashing the game every other time that we cast a spell. Alright. So now, we're going to try to pick up some bugs so that we don't starve to death. Because that's a thing. I would rather not starve to death. If I have a choice. Wait, is there anything in my inventory I can eat? Yes, I must eat soon. Thank you, game. Ooh, aloe. That ought to be all of them. So we got some food. And we head out. So I do not yet have a way to cleanse my corruption, so for the time being, we are stuck with it. I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. But, yeah. Corruption's probably going to make this a little rough. Oh yeah, starving. Heh. Okay. So we're pretty much going to make a beeline for where we're going to be looking to build. We just don't want to lose any of the stuff we got on us, especially that sorcery stuff. Nothing too fancy, but I would like to keep it. This is the other place where the river comes out. As you can see, it's a little ways down. So we started here. We went here. I suppose I could have followed the river around this way. Where's the fun in that? Plus, we had to go back by our bedroll so we could pick it back up. The only real downside about being corruption is it cuts into your stamina and health. And when you're low level like this and don't have a lot of stamina to begin with, it kind of sucks. I'm not super worried about the health. The stamina, on the other hand, is kind of important. Let's see. Stamina regenerates faster. Now we have 109. Not a whole bunch more, but it will regen faster, so that's a plus. So before long, we are going to have to go drop some stuff from our inventory. So there's a Thrall Camp that will come by as we're going. That has some flotsam floating out in the water. I'll explain flotsam when we get to it. There's also several other locations that crates of it spawn on our path. So we'll have to pick those up. They did change the mechanics with the 3.0 update, so it used to be that it didn't matter how over encumbered you were, you still swam at full speed. They have since changed that. So if you are over encumbered, you even swim slow. Oh, look, a buzzard. And it flew off. What do you got? Nothing. Okay. So, early game, when you're a lower level, you're still working on getting stuff put in. Like right now, we're only like level 15. right? Something like that anyways. When you're a lower level like this, you gotta pick and choose what you loot and carry. Otherwise, you're gonna be super slowed down. It's gonna suck. Yeah, we're level 18, so we're not even level 20 yet. So, like, stone skinning knife, we'll hold on to, because it's gonna be a little bit before we get iron tools. The oil, it's easy enough to get, so I can drop it. Keep the crystal, keep the steel, keep the leather. The arrows don't really do me any good right now because I don't have a bow. So I'll drop those. I'll keep the silver bar. I'll drop the wood. I'll hold on to the hide for now. The raw ash doesn't really weigh anything. It's 0.1 per. So seeing as how it doesn't really weigh anything, there's no reason to drop it. That, and it's harder to get because you can only get it from volcanic areas, but it's used to make white dye. Glowing goop, we don't really need it right now. We can drop it. We'll get plenty of coal where we're going. We'll hold on to the iron bar. We'll hold on to the bones, the coin. Never hurts to have a second water skin. We can drop those. Drop those aloe seeds. So, I mean, as you can see, that only did so much for getting our weight down. It's still higher than I would like it to be, but we can fix that because as soon as we hit our next couple levels, we're going to put some points into expertise, which is what replaced encumbrance. So your carry weight is now determined by a combination of your expertise and strength instead of just encumbrance. I will say, when Funcom was going through reworking this system, they put a little finesse into it. I kind of dig it. The launch for 3.0 could have been so much better, though. Good lord, it really could have. 3.0's launch was absolutely terrible. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. So just run along the beach. Alright, so this here, it's not really an important place, I don't think, unless they've changed something. Yeah, this place just kind of exists. I mean, there's a campfire there that's been kind of crushed. Provides a little bit of light. Spots, mostly decorative. There's not even really anything here to loot, it's just kind of here. There's some loot stuff by this tent here. This is the other spawn spot. As you can see, it's got the chests, it's got the bodies. You see more stuff over there. There's one of the other spots you can spawn in at. And we are almost there. Okay. Not to where we're building, to where that Thrall Camp is. Once we hit that Thrall Camp, that's our notification to get into the water and start swimming. Because we gotta swim a ways to get where we're going. Alright, these are the lighthouses here. They don't really serve any actual purpose other than decoration. However, some of them do hide some treasure, which I'm not going to worry about looking for right now. Mostly in the interest of time and keeping things interesting, and the fact that I don't have enough carry weight. So pretty much every Thrall camp, you can kill the thralls, knock out the thralls, whatever. It's just what thralls are there for. But there are usually like some chests, some things you can loot. Shenanigans like that. Never really anything super special. I mean, there's a couple of exceptions. There are some Thrall camps where you can pick up playful pups. You can then put those playful pups in an animal pen with meat and tame them into dogs. Some of the dogs are unique and come out with names. We've got a handful of those. I do just want to make sure I clarify. So while I am starting my character from scratch, they will be bringing me back into the clan, so I will have full access to everything I had previously done. But starting from scratch gives me the opportunity to show you guys things I hadn't gone over with you before. And once we get where we're going, I will go over a handful of map things, important map things. Oh, man. It's a long way. I always forget how long this run is. Because it's rare that I actually have to make this entire run. Alright, so we got some crocodilators. None back there, but there's our first one here. There are more spotted about the area as we go further. Obviously, I'm going to ignore them. I don't feel like fighting them right now. And we're going to go out into the water where they can't get us. So this right here that we're coming up on is the Thrall Camp. I still think it's dumb that they made it so alligators can't swim. Like, alligators should be able to swim, there should be sharks in the water. Like, I should be able to swim up to a fish, hit square on it, and harvest it. Fish traps are dumb and broken and not in the good way. Alright, so as we come by this Thrall Camp here, there's 10 or 12 ding-dongs that spawn here, including him. None of them can really do much of anything to us. Oh, good. They added a sorcerer to the Thrall Camp. That's nice. Alright, so these are flotsam. So it's a crate. You interact with the crate, pick it up, gives you supply materials. Same thing here. Sometimes you have to interact with it a few times before it'll actually let you pick it up. There's plenty of thralls in this camp. There are graves that will pop up randomly at thrall camps. Looks like just like your death marker, like when you die and it has a little stick with the skull on it and blah blah blah. Looks just like that. And you have to have a specific item called the Gravedigger, which I've got 2 on this server. I gave one to Chaz, so yeah, I've got a Gravedigger at my main base, which you guys may or may not ever see, for the simple reason that well, I can't let any of my YouTubers or my fellow YouTube fans that are on our server know where my base is, because then you'll try to raid me. You can know where my private residence is that I'm building in the game, but not where my actual base is. Because, you know, yeah. Needless to say, any smart Conan player has multiple bases for that reason. You know, if somebody raids one, you got a backup base with a bunch of backup materials and shit like that. It's not an uncommon thing for people playing this type of game. I mean, we did the same thing in Ark. But it's like we've got one main centralized base, and then we've got a bunch of little offshoots. Everybody's got their own little hidey hole, so to speak. There are some fantastic building options down this way as well. because this is where I always prefer to build. Like this portion of the map. Just because there's more flat areas without being too close to the center. The problem is if you build too close to the center, then the maelstrom comes, and nah. Maelstrom's a pain. You always, any server you play on, you want to find out how big the radius of the maelstrom is, and build outside of that radius. Because if not, the maelstrom can come and completely wipe your base. Which is no fun, no good, and very irritating. The only downside about building down this way is that the Thrall camps are a little more spread out. So I mean, if you're trying to take a dancer or a sorcerer or whatever, like they're too spread out. But I'm willing to forgive that. As you can see, we just became over encumbered, and now we are very slow. Like very slow. So we're going to swim up to this other floats and grab it real quick, and then we're going to open them all and sort through everything and see what we need to keep or what we can get rid of. We're also going to... It's only 3 points, but it helps us out a little bit. We just went from over encumbered to about 60%, I'm going to say. Alright, so we got 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 5. 5. Okay, what can we drop? So we don't really have need for the hardened brick right now, and hardened brick is super easy to make. It's also super heavy, so we can drop the hardened brick, drop the dry wood, drop the iron reinforcement. I'm going to keep the practice sword. For now, at least. Keep the steel fire. And drop the tar. The glasser. Improvised brawling weapon. 42 health damage. Alright. Keep the goldstone. Let's see. Weapon handles are easy enough to make. I don't know if there's any use for corrupted stone on this map. Whatever. Scraps. We'll keep. Alright, so there's armor scraps, and then there's scraps. The pictures for them both look the same. There's not a whole lot of use for armor scraps on the Isle of Sipta. However, scraps, when put into a furnace, make Eldarium. And Eldarium is very important on the Isle of Sipta. As I'm sure you can see off in the distance over there, slightly to our right, and I will point directly toward it, that right there is the top of another ship. Now, not every ship has flotsam floating around it. However, most ships have spawn points for flotsam, and almost every ship has 2 flotsam spawn points. One of the nice things about flotsam is flotsam gives you a chance at getting alchemical base. Alchemical base is one of, if not the most important resources in this game. Basically, to make it, it requires ichor, gold dust, and silver dust. It used to be really hard to get gold dust. Silver dust was a walk in the park. Gold dust was really hard to get. And ichor was a walk in the park because your unappetizing fish gave you ichor. Your unappetizing shellfish also gave you ichor. So the little blue fish and the shrimp would give you ichor when you would cook them. So we had a plethora of ichor. Neither of those options are any longer viable. So the only reason to fish is if you want them for food or if you want them for trophies. Certain fish provide certain benefits when you eat them. However, they are much harder fish to catch. Other fish are literally only good for putting in the fluid press to get oil. you know, that kind of thing. Excuse me. So you just kind of have to judge what you want to do. Now, yes, fish is a really easy way to get food to cook. So you don't have to go out hunting all the time, because some of these creatures that you can hunt are a pain in the ass. Which, I mean, it is what it is. There's just, some of them are just a pain. That being said, the other good use for fish is oil. However, now that they've made it so that it happens, when you put berries in the dryer, you have a 1 in 5 chance of getting a seed for every berry you dry. Which is not an overly impressive chance, but a chance nonetheless. So if you're getting and drying berries for food anyways, that's going to give you seeds. And seeds, if you put them in the fluid press, also produce oil. So unless you need like multiple sources of oil, you're better off just doing seeds. Especially because you're going to get seeds anytime you harvest plant fiber anyways. And oh look, there's more glowing goop. You're going to get seeds anytime you harvest plant fiber anyways, and there's no longer a need to make gruel because you no longer need thralls. Funcom has made us powerful enough that thralls are nice, but they're not a necessity. So the only thralls you really need to worry about considering keeping around at all are dancers or the thralls that go in your crafting stations. Like, you don't need them for fighters anymore, so like, you don't need as much gruel. And if you don't need as much gruel, you can take the said gruel that you don't need, and yeah, just use the seeds for other stuff, like oil. I don't know of any cooking recipes that take oil, but you know, there's always stuff. That might be too close to that Thrall Camp. Right now I'm just trying to determine exactly where we're going to build. So for my private residence, my private estate, I'm not going to go too terribly big, but I do want to build in a bathhouse, which means I do want to build it into the water. You know, I want to make it look nice and fancy and all that good stuff. Just gotta find the right place to do it. I didn't want it to be too terribly far away from a Thrall Camp, but that may be a moot point. So this little cave here, and I'll pop in on my map and show you guys. This little place is neat. It serves no purpose. There's some treasure chests in here. So this is another Grey Ones area. Here's their main spot, but they've got a bunch of little areas. We'll eat real quick. And it's like, there's loot in this one, and that's it. That's all that's here is loot. Which is kind of sad, kind of disheartening. It's like, we got some more flotsam. There's chests under here. There's chests going up this way. And this whole thing goes up to this gorgeous looking door. There's more flotsam. So we have to crack these open and go through them as well. More flotsam. Man, they really increased the flotsam spawns in here. They didn't used to be this much. Don't know what on earth that's supposed to be for. That's new. But that door back there has always been there, so we will... Man, this is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I mean, at least you don't get proportionally slower with the weight. I guess that's a plus side. And this will probably be a good place to hang out till dawn anyways, because there's natural light in here and no enemies. At least not as of yet. So we have never figured out what this cave here is for. You've never been able to build here. It tells you can't build here when you try. So that's nothing new. Like if I try to put my bedroll down, building not allowed here. It's whatever. But there's this. And this always looked to me like a door. But it doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't do anything. It's just kind of there. And creepy. You know. So if anybody knows anything more, feel free to enlighten us. But if we come back to it real quick, so that's a gray one, and that's a gray one. That looks like the tower. And that's either the sun or a portal. We never figured that part out. So, I mean, initially we all thought this was some sort of puzzle room or something. We've never figured it out. No one has ever figured it out, unfortunately. Alright, let's open all of this. Alright, so black dye we'll hold on to and use. Drop the claws. Keep that, keep that, keep that. Drop that. Keep the silk. Drop it, drop it. See, there's some alchemical base. Drop the rare spice for now. Glowing essence is mildly important. Hunter's potion. Elixir of Vigor, health plus 60. My thing is, it just surprises me that, you know, it's like they spent all the time and effort to create this little cave and to put it here and to make it look good for it to do absolutely nothing. That just boggles my mind. Not enough plant fiber to repair. let's remedy that then. There's even more floats from here than I remember there being. Drop that. We'll hold on to the Frost Lotus, because that will become important later. Drop one of the practice swords. Keep the Golden Lotus. Like, they had to have had a purpose in mind for this at some point. You know, like, they can't have just, like, put it there and been like, oh yeah, no, we're just gonna put this here and we're gonna troll some people. Like, they had to have had an initial purpose behind this place. You know, it's not just a random whatever. Like, it's the design of the temples for the gray ones. That's clear as day to see. They've got this little top area, comes down, drops into the spot below. You know, they had to have had something planned for it. Whatever it was, I would have liked to have seen it. Maybe it would have originally had something to do with sorcery, because this table piece here is repurposed. That was repurposed and used as part of the whole sorcery thing. Notice all those arrows pointing upward. So yeah, there's lots of intriguing stuff in this cave. There's more chests down below you can dive down to get. Wooden chests, upgraded chests. As you guys saw, I picked up like 5 floats in that cave. Alright, this is where the fun part is though. So we gotta make it past all these giant snakes that would love nothing more than to ruin our night. And us not really having much stamina. For shame. Those yellow stones under the water. See, one there, a bunch of them over there, a couple of them here. All those yellow rocks down there are brimstone, which makes building around here a really good idea. So basically up and around this entire area on the map, and I'll show you guys once we get to the island. On and around all of this, there is iron, brimstone, stone. As you can see, all along the beach there's trees, there's reptiles. This particular place is a stone throw away from elephants and rhinos. In fact, there's literally some... Oh, Maelstrom's running. Wonderful. There's literally some elephants up the way, right over that way. Not overly difficult to get to, just a small climb. There's that stuff up there. Let me get up here real quick so I can give you guys a better shot, not through the water. Alright, so at the top of that tower, where that, or whatever, where that fire is a beacon. More gray ones. There's a boss at that place there, and some loot. Not sure what's over in there. It's a little cave that goes, or not cave, but a little thing that goes in, but not sure what's over there. Alright, let's zoom out some. So, this is our kingdom. All of these are super shallow and no bueno. This is our capital. I don't want to build my private estate too close to our capital. Kind of want to build it out of the way, but still along the coast. This area here is a really good area for resources. All of this around here is phenomenal for like iron and coal. Obviously everything over here is good for stone. Stone is stone. So like I could build on the island. None of this is too terribly deep. See, I kind of want... I think we'll do that. I think we'll start out, we'll build up here on the island. Get ourselves a little house going. Get ourselves some basic amenities. And then when I'm ready to build, like, my bathhouse area and stuff, I'll build off into that. Want a nice little place. You know, we can build ourselves a little bathhouse off this way. Build the house here. Yeah, I think that'll work. I dig it. We'll go with it. This wasn't quite exactly what I had in mind, but the plus side is there are no enemies that spawn on the island. So the island is just kind of here. For any of you that haven't watched any of my previous videos, I will do a brief building tutorial. You know, make a small build for everybody to see. For any of you that have seen it, just bear with me. You know, I'll go through it as quickly as I can while being thorough and efficient about it. First thing we're going to do is really clear the area of debris, though, because that's important. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, harvested that. Got that. And don't forget the aloe. Don't forget the aloe. We need to be able to heal. Of course, there's wood and stone up that way as well. Alright, so jumping into knowledge. We're going to learn to make a chest. Come over here. Make some twine. Get a construction hammer. Alright, so that's the first really important thing to bear in mind when you are when you're gonna build. So you have to have a construction hammer. A construction hammer is a non-optional piece of equipment. Alright, so we have a foundation down. We're going to throw down bedroll real quick. Do a bedroll. And alright, so realistically your house should and does need to be more than one foundation. Right now I'm just trying to get some stuff out of the old inventory. Lighten up our load a bit. All right. Oh, good. One of our challenges for today is harvesting stone. It's a nice, easy one. So, we could take over this entire island. I don't think we're going to take over the entire thing. We might. We'll have to see when we get to that point. Alright, so we're not quite where we need to be on stone, so we'll just jump down into the water. Because harvesting stone down here is just like harvesting stone up there. It's just a little bit slower and you have to hold your breath. Okay. You also have to be in the right position for the rock. So there's that. Alright, back to the crafting hammer. Okay. So, if you're on PC, it's F. If you're on console, it's L1. Opens up this menu. You go through, you select your item. Ta-da. Now, I don't have enough materials to make a door, so I mean that making the door does me no good. But we can go through, we'll make a wall. Alright, so we got the wall. And you just point and click. That little box at the bottom that shows you the piece you're building and has the number in it, that tells you how many of that piece you can build. And you basically just click and add. And you just keep adding pieces until either you're done or you're out of materials. If you run out of materials midway through, then obviously you get more materials, you come back, you finish up. Occasionally that does happen where it won't let you place a piece. That's fine. It's nothing to be concerned about. Hit circle or escape to be done with it. We're going to come over here. We're going to grab that. Back to our crafting hammer and make a door. Door. We have a door. However, one thing to bear in mind when you are creating a home is now we can't get back into our house. So one important thing to do, jump over here, go to our apprentice mason, learn to make stairs, wrong button. Alright, back into the crafting menu, and oh look, stairs. Ta-da, attached directly to the foundation. Now you can walk right up and into your house. That is an important thing to know and to bear in mind. Now, we need a roof. We're not protected, we're not safe, we need a roof. Well, that's fine. Once again, we go back to our crafting hammer. And, oh, would you look at that? We have a sloped roof corner. We're going to build a roof. Now, this is just the beginning of our home building. This is not what the final... Oops. So, glad I did that. So if you make a mistake, you can press and hold your place button. It will switch into removal mode. You remove the piece, it gives you the full amount of resources you spent. Not what the base cost is, just what you spent. Right, now we're going to jump back over, do that. Get another roof piece there. Come back to here. More thatched roofing. Oh, but wait, we built our home in a 5x5. What a terrible thing. We now have a 1 square hole in our roof. It's fine. Go over to your knowledge. Back into your construction. Thatched rooftop pieces. That will complete the rest of the pieces for the thatched roof that you do not have, and what we need is the rooftop cap. Hey. Rude. Okay, now we've got that placed in the right spot. We are going to climb ourselves back up here and find the one that was not put in the right place and remove it so that we can save those resources. Alright, go into delete mode, delete that piece. Now what we need to do is select our sandstone ceiling tiles, because what we're going to do is we are going to put a second floor on this tiny house. Right? So we're going to leave one spot open to climb up. Now we have this little spot here where we can climb up the wall and get into the second floor. Now we have a tiny little hidey hole up here. It's not amazing, it's not huge, but it's also not the base floor. What this does is it gives us more floor space. So, right, we've built in a 5x5 and gone 2 walls high, right? And then we put a roof on it. Well, we can make use of that space instead of it all being one solid, straight up, tall, whatever. We have a few more attributes to spend, so we'll get our expertise, and then we'll start putting points into strength. So, while it's not been a whole massive amount of journey at this point, we're an hour and 17 minutes in-ish. We have learned sorcery, traveled basically all the way across the map, from the northern, or mostly northern end to all the way down at the bottom. We've built a little hut. We've got ourselves a little place staked out, you know. Nobody's here. No one's down here. So we got this wonderful, amazing, tiny little hut built. Very basic, very plain, nothing fancy. Because right now we really don't need anything fancy. What we do need, and rather soon, is to start making crafting stations and to get some light. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over to knowledge. We're going to tab ourselves into our survival thing. Cool, we can make beds, we can make torches, we can make healing wraps. Now, every last one of these is important to learn. So, all of these first tier ones, at a minimum, you need through the grinder. When you get there, this is not overly important, but it is semi-important. If you want to change the way your stuff looks, like make it look colorful and pretty and stuff, yeah, I always learn it because it's part of this tools. It is important to learn every last tool, whether you plan on using it or not, because you need this. In order to learn this, you have to know this. Well, in order to know this, you have to know this. In order to know this, you have to know the steel. So it is very important that you learn all of these, because the reason you need to know this is because certain recipes you can pick up in certain locations in the map require that you be able to craft this before you can learn it. So it is important that you learn all of these. This section is not so important. So the only ones it is imperative that you learn, make sure, yeah, are this one, the dryer, and the fluid press. The rest are helpful, not necessary. It is important that you learn everything under box maker. Peasant is not necessary. For thrall taker, it's worth learning all 3 tiers of your Wheel of Pain. It's not necessary, but it's worth it. When we come back here, Torchbearer, this one's up to you. It costs 1. It costs 1. It's not important. It doesn't do a lot. It's just a cute little fire. Brazers are semi-important to learn. My favorites to use are the Radium Torches. The reason I like the Radium Torches is because they don't have an animation. And because they don't have an animation, they decrease server lag. It's helpful. You will want to learn Furniture Maker, because whether or not you want war paint, whether or not you want the weapon display, you need the earthenware jug. The earthenware jug is how you learn explosives. When it comes to weapons, you can just kind of learn whatever weapons you want. It's not overly important, you know. I do want the katana, because that is a nice sword. Why do I have to learn Pictish? Why do I now have to learn these that I paid for? I'm calling bullshit. Two-handed iron sword. See, I don't see. I should already know these. I should already know all of these because I bought the DLCs. Whatever. Under here, you're also going to want to learn archery. You do not have them unlocked yet, but you want to unlock the special arrow here to unlock this one, because you'll use explosive arrows for getting star metal. Not a high enough level to learn explosives yet. We will learn armorer. Not going to learn any of that excess yet. We will learn fine metal crafts, because that's potentially going to be important later. Alright, so we do have our upgraded Web of Zath. Cool. Sorcery. This tab shows us what we know for sorcery. This shows us all of our arcane knowledge. Or ancestral knowledge, or whatever you want to call it. Those are from the thing. Ta-da! Cool. So, that's all you guys really need to know for that. We're going to look at our challenges real quick. Give you a brief overview of this. Again, just briefly. Alright, so we're going to claim reward. It's 30 XP, I get 3x, it gives me 90 XP. Ta-da. Okay. So you got common, uncommon, and legendary. Obviously, legendary is the top tier, it gives you the most XP. This is telling me to defeat a boss in the unnamed city. Well, I can't defeat a boss in the unnamed city, and right now I do not have the equipment to harvest star metal, so we're not too worried about that. But this is just to show you. So the challenges, the XP multipliers, I have 19 of them remaining. You guys just saw me use one. That's just kind of one of those things. It's if you're not playing every day, you'll stack up multipliers, maximum 20. Go through, use them, get your XP up. When you can, I would ignore the basic ones like craft an armor piece, harvest a corpse using a religious tool. Uncommon ones aren't so bad, but really, you know, it's like if you get a legendary one, complete it. When we get done with the video, I'm actually going to jump on my other server and go complete that legendary one. Kill a boss in the unnamed city. Super easy. Not a big deal. Just, you know, gotta go do it. When you get the XP, you jump over to your battle pass. Unlock stuff. It's cool. The next one I unlock is this draft of the dead. This draft of the dead basically is the summon zombie spell. Except you don't have to cast it, you just throw the orb. Or not throw the orb, but you use the potion and it summons undead. So yeah, it's cool. Don't cast it inside your house. You will fuck yourself. So there's that. And then there's the bazaar. The bazaar is the bazaar. It is what it is. I've not been overly impressed with most of the options. I do kind of like that camping kit, but again, it's not worth me spending, you know, 10-15 bucks on. Not worth it to me. About the battle pass, there's loads of cool stuff in the battle pass. There really is. There's these fancy wall torches. And there's a bunch of different color wall torches in this. So, I mean, that's kind of fancy. There's different light colors. There's a few different war paints. Your crom coins. the arcane wall shelf. So I mean, there's this. There's this. It's a cool alternate staff option. Nothing in the battle pass is broken. It's all like cosmetic stuff. There's a couple of like lets you cast the spell a couple times to see if you like sorcery. Here we got a yellow wall torch. Another floor paint. Emotes. Lets you cast the invisibility spell on yourself temporarily. Armored hyena looks pretty cool, but again, it's cosmetic. 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 Chrome coins. Cosmetic. Lets you cast slow fall. Emote. Green wall torch, again, just cosmetic. Cosmetic. Chrome coins. Cosmetic. Lets you cast darkness. Da da da. Again, it's like cool walls, cool frames. But it's again cosmetic. Cosmetic. Chrome coins. Cosmetic. 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 Ooh, a purple wall torch. More cosmetics. More spells. Like, it's nothing game breaking. It's not gonna make you win the game. It's not that kind of purchase. You know, cast Lightning Storm. A white horse. White horse is the end of the battle pass, apparently. Okay, cool. You know, neat little oil lamp. So it's nothing broken. It's nothing that's like makes you super overpowered, blah blah blah, this, that, or the other. It's just one of those things. You know, it gives you the ability to check out sorcery. It gives you the ability to experiment with it, to see what's going on, and it gives you a bunch of really cool cosmetic items. Like, I really like the idea of these different color wall torches. They're fancy. I do like them. I'm excited to get the white ones, because those are the ones I'll probably use the most. So, but yeah, that's really all that stuff is. We are going to... Can I make... I can craft 5 of these. Cool. While those are crafting, jump over here. Decorations, lights. What do you mean I don't have torches? I have torches. I've made torches. Alright. Oh no, I have improvised torches. Well, that was a waste. I guess we'll come in here and find some wood. Those are all improvised. I think I might have just bugged my stamina, guys. Well, it's fixed. Alright. Should have some iron. Nope, not. Alright. We're lit. We have some torches. Not the most amazing, not perfectly placed, but that's as good as we're going to get for now, guys. It was nice catching you. We'll see you next time. Have a nice night.